Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Agenda on Signal TV, Channel 8 and Channel 250. I'm Cito Beltran. Welcome to the program. It's a Friday. It's April 17, 2020. And we will continue to give you the latest on the news. And we will have several interviews for today, and we invite you to stay tuned and stick around. Okay, let's move on to the headlines. Duque to stay put. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III remains to have the president's blessings. He remains in the good graces of President Rodrigo Duterte, and the palace has asked him to stay put in his post despite calls of some senators for his resignation. Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea says President Duterte now expects Secretary Duque to work even harder at this time so as to set aside doubts on his capacity to lead the health department in this fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Recall that yesterday, 15 senators filed a resolution seeking Duque's resignation for what they say was a failure of leadership. Duque himself has released a statement in response to the matter in which he said, "We will answer allegations in due time. But right now, we will continue to be in the trenches with our healthcare workers and frontliners." President Duterte warns of martial rule style discipline versus violators. With an average of 4,000 enhanced community quarantine violators, President Duterte warns of employing a martial rule style to make sure Filipinos are staying at home. In his address to the nation last night, the president said he will order the police and the military to enforce the social distancing policy under the ECQ. When it comes to the ECQ, which had been extended until the end of April, Duterte appealed to the people to be patient as the government studies measures to implement in fighting the virus. In connection to that statement, total lockdown an option if violation continues, according to presidential spokesperson Harry Roque. The palace is not ruling out a total lockdown beyond April 30. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said this as the number of cases in the country continue to rise daily, with over 5,600 COVID cases to date. Meanwhile, the government welcomes the increase in the number of recoveries as it has also surpassed the death toll. Task Force spokesman Carlo Nograles says this may have been due to improved testing capabilities, which paves the way for early medical intervention. And finally, not finally, and in a different field, Philippines hotel owners send SOS. The Philippine Hotel Owners and Associations, or PHOA, has renewed its call to the government for support for their industry, which has been hard hit by the pandemic. In a letter addressed to the Tourism Department, PHOA President Art Lopez appealed for tax relief measures, labor force assistance, and travel stimulus to help their sector survive and recover. The group is also calling for the creation of a hotel credit guarantee fund and for more accommodation from the Insurance Commission for their business losses. And finally, the PhilHealth says they have enough funds to pay for the hospital bills of COVID-19 patients. However, the agency sticks by its new case rates, as it says this is needed for sustainability and long-term implementation. This way, the agency says, there will be they will be able to ensure adequate financial assistance for all COVID patients. PhilHealth also explained that initially they only shouldered full hospital costs since they still lacked costing data on COVID-19 cases. Now, the new case rates dictate different financial packages for various categories of COVID cases, such as mild, severe, and critical. To get a better insight on the matter, let's bring in the president of PhilHealth, Ricardo Morales. Sir, if you're there, please join us. Good morning,
Hi,
sir.
Sito. Good morning, Sito, and good morning to all televiewers.
Okay,
So,
we can start off by giving you the chance to explain why the shift. Because as I told you earlier when we were checking our lines,
mhm,
I
mhm,
suspected that the PhilHealth would change its case rates because of that Facebook post where one hospital allegedly charged over 1 million pesos for a COVID-19 patient. And I was
mhm,
saying to
mhm,
myself, okay, here we go. This is
mhm,
going to be a case of overcharging. Is this
mhm.
the reason why you change your case rates?
No, when we initially published before April 14 that we were going to cover at cost all COVID cases, we also mentioned that we warned the public that we were going to publish a case rate when we had enough data. We said
Okay.
that it would be after April 14. So since we have already collected all that data and our actuaries are confident that the figures are right, time will tell if the calculations are right. So we
Mhm.
came out with this new case rate, which we believe is sustainable. We've looked at our books, we've done the math, and we think we can sustain this. But you mentioned a million plus
Yeah.
hospital bill. You know, Sito, that's not even the highest. The highest now is about 3.8 and counting
3.8 million pesos
million
for hospital stay?
and still in the hospital. Uh,
I'm not
yes,
a doctor and you're not a doctor, but I think common sense is going to like kick in and say, what the hell is going on here?
well, well, one reason for that is that because of the bago nga itong coronavirus and then people are trying one protocol after the other. So siguro excusable yun during the experimentation period, which for us ended on April 14. But here on, from April 15, we're going to stick with the case rate. But you know, just to give an idea of scale, we have
Yeah,
about 5,660 uh, reported cases. Okay.
yeah,
Now,
yes.
if all of this develop into a 3.8 million bill, if all of them, that's absurd. But just to get an idea of the ballpark, a sense of proportion and
Yeah.
scale, that would be equal to about 21.5 billion for the 5,660 cases reported. 21.5 billion. We prepared a war chest, PhilHealth, of 30 billion. So we're still in the ballpark. Now, not all the cases are going to be a 3.8 million hospital bill.
Mhm.
Some, meron nga 38,000, may 5,000 that we have to check kung talagang COVID nga ito. So, it distracts us. We focus on the, extreme right of the bell curve
Yeah.
sa distribution ng bill. But we're confident that we can sustain this. Now, with the case rate, the highest case rate for critical is about 786,000. Eh, paano kung lumampas ng 786 and then indigent, ano?
Yeah.
We are coordinating with the DSWD. As a matter of fact, we have a membership segment, yung indigents, which is subsidized by the government. About 18 million. In PhilHealth, we call them the basic social unit, not families, not households, but basic social unit. 18 million. That's about 36, 40 million individuals. These people, we're considering that they should be not covered by the case rate. Kasi, well,
Why?
we can say that nobody wants to get sick with COVID because pag na-ICU ka, talagang 50-50 na yan.
Mhm.
So, etong mga to, the indigent segment of our population can be covered by at cost. At cost. So, safe tayo dyan. Safe tayo. We're
Okay.
confident that we can sustain this level.
Do you have a task force or a special team looking into the way the charges and the treatment options or protocols are being done? Because I don't want to be suspicious at this time, but
Mm,
and I think we all want to save lives, but I
mm,
also want to
yes,
save the PhilHealth
balance.
and its funds. Now,
Mhm,
may nag-iimbestiga ba? Because I've seen this happen in the past. And I'm saying in the past, not in the present,
mhm, mhm.
where a patient will be seen by 10 different doctors, especially pag medyo naamoy nila na may pera yung
That's true.
pasyente.
Yeah. Hindi mo alam, basta papasok na lang sa kwarto mo, tapos makikita mo sa bill eh. Oh, teka muna, he just called on me and then I'm paying for his. But anyway, healthcare the world over, even before COVID-19, is fraught with fraud. Uh, sometimes collusion between the professional and the patient. So, and PhilHealth has not been free from that. Now, but under pandemic conditions, when we're trying to protect our population,
Yeah.
provide our health workers with confidence and wala silang dapat ipangamba, but all the documents that are being submitted to PhilHealth and the claims are going to involve to include yung statement of accounts naka-itemize
Okay.
naka-itemize. So that is historically we can, and we will in the future, when we get the claims we will go through them like with a fine tooth comb. And we can always go back and say, hey, teka muna, pinasok niyo ito na hindi dapat pinasok. And then that's why we have the case rate. It has to be compared to the case rate. So we will do our due diligence in due time. But right now, it's more important to assure our healthcare providers, and we are working closely with the hospitals, the chief of hospitals, their management, and their boards, that let's work together. Yan ang spirit ng bayanihan law, no? We heal as one. So
Yeah.
that's our approach right now.
What's our situation in the outside of Luzon? Because I think right now we're all looking at ourselves here in Metro
Yes.
Manila,
Oo, oo.
pero marami ring patients and
Mm.
members of PhilHealth in the Visayas and in Mindanao. Number one, how many are applying for COVID coverage, and is there a cause for concern as far as these applications are concerned? Go?
Uh, we, uh, yung 30 billion na yon, it was supposed to apply to what, 5,000 hospitals, level 1, 2, 3, referral hospitals, kasama nga yung mga dialysis clinics, standalone maternity clinics. And so far, we have this released, ibig sabihin, nasa account na ng mga hospitals, about 8.3 billion of the 30 billion. Uh, Wala pa namang cause for concern because those hospitals that are, inuuna namin yung mga nasa mataas yung incidence ng COVID, like Region 11, Region 7, and NCR Region 3 and 4. No, these are the hotbeds. The islands seem to be doing better. Mababa yung incidence, but still we have preposition funds there. So it seems to be it goes with the population density. Kung saan mataas yung population density, mataas din yung occurrence ng COVID. But in
What
so far as the release of funds are concerned, we're still working with the banks who are working on a skeleton force and then shortened hours. So yun ang medyo bottleneck.
What about in Cagayan, Cagayan de Oro? Because Cagayan de Oro Congressman Rufus Rodriguez was the first and only legislator I know who actually went out to the media and to the president appealing for the PhilHealth to cover COVID patients to up to 1 million. You've said that if it was only 1 million, you have
Oh,
enough money to do it. Pero marami bang case sa COVID-19 sa Cagayan de Oro?
I don't have the figures right now, but I can tell you how much we have released to Region 10. I think the biggest hospital there is, hold on, Northern Mindanao Medical Center. It's a level 3 hospital in Misamis Oriental. We released 150 million. It's already with them.
Okay, so you're actually releasing the funds ahead of the claims.
Yes, yes. Wala na silang dahilan na hindi makakabili ng PPE if they can find the supplier and
Mhm.
then hire manpower, whatever they need. So may pera na sila.
So puro gamutan na lang ang aasikasuhin nila because I think here there are the reports or worries na nako pag na-hospital ka wala kang pambayad, yung pera pala nasa hospital na.
Yes, yes, yes. 8.3 billion na na-release namin eh. At tuloy-tuloy pa yun, no? We're releasing every week, every day.
Okay. Now, what are your future plans on this matter, sir? Because when if right now we're all hoping April 30, okay na, we will all level out, but the cases still pile up, and the more we test, the more we discover. Can the PhilHealth sustain the financial aid or the insurance coverage? It's not financial aid; it's a membership thing. Can we sustain it?
Well, we are an arm of government. We have a sovereign guarantee. And if we run out of money for as long as I tell them early enough, then I have to go to you know who.
Okay. Well, I think I don't know if you're referring to who up in the sky or who up down in Pasig, but either way, we will produce the money because we need to take care of the
Yeah, we're okay.
Philippines and
I think
Filipinos.
we're okay. This is ito na yung new normal natin eh.
Okay.
I've instructed our staff to restart the programs na like universal healthcare. Since we have adjusted already to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then PhilHealth has, been nimble enough to be able to do that. We can now refocus back to the universal healthcare and to maybe restart those programs. Kaya tuloy-tuloy pa yun eh. Meron pang nanganganak, may
Mhm.
nagda-dialysis, continuing pa yun, continuing pa yun.
Okay, well, thank you very much, PhilHealth President.
You know who?
Okay, and I won't take up much of your time, Sir Morales, because
Yeah,
you have a big
yeah,
responsibility on your
yeah,
shoulder.
yeah, it's a pleasure, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay
Okay,
strong. God bless you.
thank you.
Okay, we move on in the program, and that's just so people realize, remember. Let me reiterate the fact that the PhilHealth already rolled out, in essence, put out a cash advance, a war chest for most of the hospitals, if not all of the hospitals in the country, so that they don't have to worry about where to get the money. They can simply go and attend to the patients. Now, part of the reason for this protocol of case rates is, let's be honest, it's a safety measure. It's just to ensure that people don't abuse the funds, because those funds are not just government money but also contributions of members, actually mostly belonging to members, and government is simply managing it. So these case rates will ensure that there is no abuse. And I think it's very reassuring that PhilHealth President Rick Morales pointed out that they have enough money, even if we had to pay 1 million per case for the existing 5,000 plus COVID-19 cases, they would still be able to cover the expenses. So we'll find out more about that as we go and fight this battle. Now, speaking of fighting this battle, let's go to the Philippine National Police. we have online. It's spokesperson General Bernard Banac. Good morning, General. Okay.
Yes, good morning, Sito, and
Oh,
to your good morning, Sito, and program. Good morning.
okay, thank you, General, and thank you for joining us this morning. The President mentioned something about martial law style discipline, and I think many Filipinos, particularly in NCR, parang hinihingi na nila. They're already asking the PNP and the MMDA to crack the whip because sobrang daming pasaway and all our sacrifices of staying at home is jeopardized by these people who just go out and nagpapasabong pa o nagtutupada, naglalasingan, etc. What's your update on the situation, General?
Last stretch of our strict implementation, the enhanced community quarantine, Sito, and we want us to be successful in this campaign to prevent the spread of coronavirus 19.
Okay. There's a slight delay with President with General Banac's communications.
Intensified.
Okay, let's try to straighten that out.
And
Okay, there we go. We'll try to fix the communication link with General Bernard Banac. As you may recall, President Duterte has already, along with presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, has already signified and indicated that they're not going to hesitate implementing a martial law style lockdown if many Filipinos continue to defy the home quarantine order. So what's happening there is the PNP. Actually, yesterday, as I was going from the house to the studio, I noticed that the checkpoint in the area was extra strict in checking vehicles. And for the first time, I actually saw a number of riders turned away. The people at the checkpoint at I think that's a Pioneer and Reliance Street. They were asking for IDs. They were checking on the cargo of the vehicles. One pickup that was before me had more than one person on board. You're only supposed to anyone driving a vehicle is only allowed to be by him or herself if you have a quarantine pass. The quarantine pass is only for the area of your barangay or immediate residence. But in this case, they questioned the driver why the driver had another passenger, and apparently they were really grilled. Then a motorcycle rider was turned away. He was told to go around and go back to where he came from because we they he did not have the authority. I think what's happening is people are hoping that they'll just get a warning, and that's what we're trying to get with General Bernard Mana, and maybe later with MMDA EDSA Bong Nebrija. We will try to find out uh, how are we going to change the rules, and is it too late in the game? I suspect it's not too late in the game. I suspect that this quarantine isn't going to be over the way we imagine it to be. I mean, it might be lifted on April 30. Might. Most people I know are saying, well, not quite, but even if it's lifted on 30 April, chances are you will probably only be allowed to go around your barangay and only go to particular work where you are allowed essentials. But it will take some time before we can actually wander around in the zone. And I think many provinces are going to adopt the same policy because until there is a real medicine, real solution to COVID-19, until they can come up with something to cure the problem, we are not going to be safe, and that thing is still going to linger around. Now, while we're waiting for our next guest to come on board, well, we will move on to other topics. I let's we are going to try General Bernard Banac again. General Banac, are you there? Okay, coming up. Uh, okay, it's a Friday.
Yes,
We
Sito,
okay.
back.
Okay, General. Okay, thank you for the second try. Anyway, going straight to the point, what will be the new approach to the implementation of the ECQ? Because the president said magma-martial law style na siya, and marami nang nagagalit na maraming pasaway.
Um, yes, Sito, that's the president. We have heard him. And implementation, enhanced community quarantine. And in fact, well, we are increasing our number of patrol to man our community quarantine control points so that our people would be discouraged to come out and just stay home. And just a couple of days ago, we have launched our random mobile checkpoints along major thoroughfares in Manila and other points in to check on the private vehicles that are traveling outside of their residences. And we will constantly implement this enhanced community quarantine because we are in the last stretch of our quarantine period, and we would like us to be successful, Chito, in our prevention of the spread of coronavirus 19.
Okay, what is the condition of your personnel right now? Because from last I heard, we lost two police officers already, and then there were about 25 that were COVID positive. Is this correct? And what is the current status?
Well, as of this time, the morale of our PNP personnel remains, and it's an honor to serve our people at this time of public health emergency. But at the same time, a number of our personnel have also got infected already of coronavirus 19. And as of yesterday, 59 of our frontliners, police frontliners, got sick of the COVID-19, and they tested positive of this virus. And sad to say that three of these personnel already expired and passed away covered. And thank God, those are fine and have recovered from the illness. But we are still monitoring to be probable, and then 512 are suspected to be infected of the. So it's a big number, but there's nothing to worry because
Okay, I think we're going to have to cut our interview short because we're just having too much delay in the transmission. But
we
nonetheless, we want to thank you,
have
General Banac.
and we constantly implement.
Okay, thank you, General Banac. We'll try to get back to you as
Yes,
soon as
yes,
we can
Tito.
have a better communication. Thank you very much. That's Police General and Spokesperson Bernard Banac. Choppy as it was, I hope that our viewers got a picture of what's involved when you are a police officer manning those ECQ checkpoints. As you have heard, they have had, I think, 3 deaths already. There were 53 or thereabouts confirmed COVID cases among the PNP personnel, 61 PUIs, and 500 are being monitored to check if they too, probably because of the secondary exposure or contact with other police officers who tested positive. So not only are doctors and nurses and hospital staff falling to this COVID-19, we also have members of the PNP falling. And it's a sad thing. And please, if you ever have to pass by those PNP checkpoints, please express your appreciation for them. And if you can, I mean, every time I pass the checkpoint near the TV studio, I bring them ice, I bring them soft drinks, small things to just make them realize that we Filipinos care for our police. Next up, let's go to Colonel Bong Nebrija, who we tried so hard to get yesterday, but we didn't have much luck. Maybe this morning we'll be blessed to have that conversation. Colonel Bong, good morning.
Good morning, Sito, and good morning to all your
Hi,
followers.
praise God, I can finally talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, Colonel, just just a update on the MMDA, because a lot of the focus has been on the hospitals, on the police checkpoints. What's going on with the MMDA? I mean, as far as your area of concern is involved, I know that the checkpoint was set up in the BB Sullivan area on EDSA a few days ago, and a number of motorists were apprehended and given citations or tickets for violating the ECQ. What else is happening with the MMDA? Could you give us an update, please?
Well, through Sito, we partnered with PLDT-HPG just 2 days ago regarding the significant volume of vehicles on EDSA, not only on EDSA but other major thoroughfares of Metro Manila, to include secondary roads. We've observed that since Saturday, there is a surge of vehicles on our roads, and with this, we anticipate the convergence in some areas, particularly the marketplaces, because of the experience that we had on Saturday in Balintawak, wherein almost all the lanes of EDSA have been occupied by motorists as parking lot for those who are going to the market. And it's very unfortunate. We really had a hard time that weekend in controlling the people, particularly those who are parking on EDSA. But nonetheless, it was shut down immediately for retailers. And however, come Monday, we anticipated that these retailers in the marketplaces will be moving to other markets like Q-Mart and Commonwealth Market. And true enough, if we did not anticipate this thing, it could have happened again in Q-Mart EDSA or in Commonwealth Avenue.
Okay, what about the other cities in Metro Manila? Because there are 17 cities, if I'm not mistaken. what is going on as far as MMDA management is concerned?
Well, we are still implementing the ECQ guidelines that has been tasked to us regarding physical distancing. This basically is on motorcycles with back rides and those vehicles with overcapacity. For example, if you're driving a sedan, the maximum that you could occupy there is only 4 passengers. For a van with 3 rows, that's 6, and so on. Uh, that's the only thing that we could implement within our authority. That's why we partnered with PNP HPG in coming up with these mobile checkpoints because the PNP, particularly the HPG, is a broader authority over this, and the confiscation of licenses is very effective because once you violate these ECQ guidelines and you are an authorized person outside residences and you're flying EDSA and other major thoroughfares, your license will be confiscated and you will be issued a TOP, a temporary operator's permit,
Okay.
and you need to claim that with at LTO. However, LTO is closed at the moment. So you might wait until this quarantine time will be over until you could redeem your license, which is very inconvenient for most drivers, who is particularly those who is designated as the person outside authority.
Okay, so kumpiskahan na, hilahan
Ta-
na ng lisensya. This is not
Tama po
just,
yun.
warning, warning.
Yes, sir. Tama po yun. There's no announcement. People are saying, oh, why are you doing this without previous announcement? We do not need to announce. We've been on ECQ for almost a month now. And for a month already, past more than a month. And these announcements have been given long before. So we need to abide by it. Marami lang nagpapalusot sa ito. So that's why it's really disappointing sometimes.
Okay, what about this? Well, let's call it a silver lining. I have actually mentioned it in my column that because of the ECQ, but I don't know if we really lift the ECQ in 1 week, baka huli na. But we have this window to set up EDSA the way you've always wanted to set it up. Parang, because I'm sure traffic on EDSA will not go back to normal overnight when we lift the ECQ. The bans or the restrictions will still be there. What about taking advantage of this time? Sabi ko sa DPWH, take advantage of this time to repair the entire EDSA. And in the same token or manner, maybe the MMDA can now use this time to reconfigure EDSA or design EDSA in such a way na magagawa mo na yung gusto mong gawin. What you've always wanted to do is put up the BRT, the motorcycle lane, etc., etc. All the ideas you had that you couldn't do because the place was always full of cars and traffic.
That's right, Sito. Actually, I think the DOTR through Secretary Tugade has already made proposal to the IATF to start transitioning with the road repairs, not only on EDSA but other major thoroughfares, to include the flagship program. So this will start soon. They're just awaiting the approval of the IATF. They have already made a proposal on how they're going to do this. And EDSA is included in that to include yung mga ginagawa nating road reblocking before. So this will be all included. And I think yung sinasabi natin, yung plano natin before na magkaroon ng BRP, that is also in the pipeline of the OTR in transitioning to the new normal.
Okay, regarding motorcycles, because that was always a concern with motorcycles on EDSA and then backriders. What do you have any idea what the policies will be as far as commuters and riders go when we lift the new normal? Napapag-usapan na ba yan na okay, pag na-lift na yung ECQ, tuloy pa rin ba yung no backrider policy, etc.?
I think it will continue, Sito, until such time that we find a cure or a vaccine to coronavirus. So the new normal will be still the physical distancing will still be implemented, even though that there will be establishment that will start to open to boost our economy back. But then again, the ruling on ECQ will the movement will be limited, and physical distancing will still be implemented.
Okay. Any what are the challenges or discoveries you've made ever since ECQ was implemented?
Well, actually, Sito, we really had a good time, so to speak, during the first 2 weeks because we really did not experience any problem on the road. You know? If ever we had an accident, it was only one or two in a day, which for us is still uh, a big number considering that there is really almost no more cars or vehicles on the road. But then again, as this ECQ passed, and at come 3 weeks and on the fourth week of this ECQ, then we started seeing vehicles back on the road, which is alarming in itself that we still have 2 more weeks to go. And challenges in itself, Sito, are the accidents on the road, because as you could see, there are our health system is already overwhelmed right now.
Hmm.
And the accidents, for example, the motorcycle accidents, and we need to bring them to the hospital. There are sometimes we are deadlocked in finding a hospital to bring them, right? Even the public hospitals are overwhelmed. We even experienced this on our own when a rider uh, got in an accident, and we were trying to bring him to a public hospital, and the system is just overwhelmed that they cannot accommodate our enforcer. So it's a reality, Sito, that in as much as possible that there are no vehicles on the road, that we want that we could zero out the accidents, but it's not happening still. There are still some irresponsible drivers who are driving under the influence, and they are, well, sort of incompetent because they're not licensed to drive, and they're taking advantage of this situation that are less.
Okay. I think we had some
And
technical there.
this
Okay.
is the challenge in catching these people, and even other delivery uh, app motorcycle riders are lending their what's this their permits to do this delivery and all to other people. So uh, it's like a franchise sale,
Okay.
so to speak. So they're lending their authority to deliver and use their app to other people.
Well, in any case, I leave it at that, Colonel Bong, and we continue to coordinate with your office. We hope
I'm
that
losing you, Sito.
we hope that the situation improves, and kung hindi pa madala sa kumpiska ng lisensya, hilahin nyo na yung mga sasakyan. Maraming salamat, Colonel. Please stay strong, stay healthy, and stay safe. Okay, that's Colonel Bong Nebrija of the MMDA. It's really sad to discover that there are still people who will actually drink and then drive and then go out under this ECQ situation. Please, if you have a friend, a family member who's doing this, I don't care if you get into a fight. It's better that you get into a fight and stop them than you let them have their way and let them go out driving and get someone else, or for them to get killed or for them to kill someone. These are not easy times. This is the one time in your life that you don't want to have an accident, not at home and especially not on the road, because as Colonel Nebrija pointed out, hospitals are not going to be able to accommodate you, and the last place you want to land in is in the hospital that's full of COVID-19 patients. Agenda will go for a quick break, and when we return, we will go straight into our next interview. Please stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to Agenda, and you're still, I suppose, watching. I don't really know what to say. It's funny when you observe that towards the weekend, things just seem to fall apart. Everybody's like wondering what they're going to do. But in any case, let's go to our next interview. Let's bring in the governor of Cagayan. We have with us Governor Manuel Mamba. Sir, good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, sir. Good morning too, and good morning to all our televiewers.
Okay, Gov, how's everything in Cagayan? I caught a bit of your interview in other programs yesterday, but for the benefit of our viewers of Agenda, could you give us a background on how things have been going there in Cagayan?
Well, we started with 18,000 PUMs and PUIs way back a month ago. We brought it down now to about 462. We still have 6 PUIs. No? We had 14 positive COVID, all taken care of by CVMC, but 2 days ago, they all turned negative already, and they have recovered. And at this point in time, we are, I would say, COVID-free at this point in time, but we're still praying na sana wala nang bago. So this is where we are today, and hopefully we could preserve this until April 30, and hopefully we'll be one of those candidates for the lifting of the quarantine. Although we really have to strengthen our checkpoints along our Maharlika Highway and all entry to our province, because really yung naging problema namin talaga are those coming from Metro Manila. It started with almost all. We have local transmission, but after yung mga galing sa Metro Manila. So at this point in time, we want to preserve the COVID-free Cagayan.
Okay, so listening to you, the history of COVID-19 is that the cases were imported and almost all from Metro Manila. Now, how will that affect your policy when you go for, the new norm, the new normal after April 30? Because some suggestions were localized quarantine, localized lifting of the quarantine, etc. Paano gagawin nyo sa Cagayan, especially regarding outsiders who need to traverse or pass through, or who want to go back to Cagayan, yung mga na-stranded sa Metro Manila?
Well, maswerte kami, no? Nasa kami, the end part of Northern Luzon, no? There's no province after us. So, maswerte kami talaga. It's a packet.
Yeah.
Pero kailangan, no? We have to really strengthen our checkpoints, no? On our provincial boundaries, because we have provincial boundaries with with Ilocos Norte, Kalinga, Apayao, and of course Isabela, no?
Yes.
And this could be an egress and ingress of people going and coming from Metro Manila. So kailangan talaga i-strengthen namin yan. And I feel that it will be semi-permanent to permanent na mga mga checkpoints na after this, no?
Mhm.
And ang sabi ko nga, we will never allow, for as long as there are cases in Metro Manila, we will never allow Metro Manila people coming in without really having to go through a test, no? And not just the antibody test, but the PCR test, para makasigurado naman kami. Now, at this point in time, na pinapayagan yung mga OFWs because they are one of those considered APOR, no?
Yeah.
Authorized persons outside residents, no? We have prepared quarantine areas for them in every town. That is why we coordinate with OWA every now and then, because we want OWA to tell us how many are coming, para kahit paano, because we could not get them into just one place. We have to get them into the different towns of the province. We have 28 towns and 1 city. No, so napaka-importante sa amin yun that we will be forewarned on how many are coming. And we are doing this now, no? So yung mga PUMs namin na bago, mga OFWs na ito. No, may mga nagpapalusot din sa mga checkpoint. That is why we really have to strengthen our checkpoints sa mga political boundaries namin, especially provincial boundaries.
Okay, so centralized, are you going to do centralized quarantine for inbound individuals or OFWs? Or are you requiring your 28 towns and the 1 city to have their respective quarantine areas?
Every town, kailangan meron silang sarili, no? Kasi we could not have a huge and a big quarantine area for all these people, no? So napaka-importante sa amin yun. That's why we are now doing this, and most of the towns, or all of the towns in the city, have their quarantine centers now, no? The Cagayan Valley Medical Center became the COVID hospital for the region. So kahit yung mga tiga Isabela, yung Babiskaya, doon lahat, no? That is why, no, kahit papano, we have to do something about this, and we are also preparing all our hospitals, no, to be possible COVID centers in the future if and when mag-deteriorate itong situation. But we're still praying that we could manage it hanggang ganito yung situation.
How strict are you, and how strict are your officials, your local officials, in implementing the stay-at-home policy? Because I think everything hinges on that. Kung walang pasaway sa Cagayan, sigurado wala ring transmission.
Yeah, tama ka, Sito, no? Tama ka. In fact, I even copied some of your terms, katulad ng World War III. I copied it from you. Yung kay Dr. Herbosa, yung super spreader, I copied it from you just to impart the message to our people, no? Kaya nga, our birth pains nung una was the tasking, no? Because everybody has to do his share. And I saw to it na sinasabi ko, the real heroes here are the people who stay in their homes, no? Because they will kill the virus by staying in their homes, and they will not provide the virus a new host by staying out of their homes, no? So we saw to it na ma-understand ng tao dun, to the point that I got sa all radio stations dito, and of course the social media. We have a very good social media now of the Cagayan Provincial Office, no, Provincial Information Office. Talagang grabe yung information drive namin to make heroes out of those people who are staying in their homes, because ang real secret dito is stay in your home. As you were telling, no, it's a world war. It's a World War III, and isa lang yung sinasabi ng buong mundo. Stay in your home, and you are killing the COVID. It's not the doctors killing the COVID, but it is the people who stay in their homes that kills the COVID, and it's the people that is there in their homes that will not provide a new host for the COVID. So yun ang palagi namin kinukuhan. And of course, kasi ang talagang problema is the tasking, no? Una, hindi nila naintindihan what's the role of the barangay captain, what's the role of the mayor, what's the role of the police and the AFP. And nagko-complicate din sa amin dito yung problema sa insurgency. So we have to address all of these things, no? In fact,
Can you elaborate on that problem with the insurgency? Kasi ang alam ko pa lang ang nabalitaan ko pa lang is that some military personnel were attacked by the NPA while trying to deliver medical supplies. I just can't remember what province that was. Diyan sa Cagayan, ano po ang problema ninyo with the insurgents?
well, every now and then may mga armed band pa of men, no? And even women, no? Armed. And alam mo dito sa amin, no, nasanay na sila magbigay, no? Sa extortion activities, no? Maganda yung harvest ngayon in some areas, no? It's a bumper crop ngayon dito, no? Especially in the irrigated areas. So sila papakipakita sila, and I think they may not be for a fight, but they are there to extort money. Ganun din in one of our place here, no? Meron din kaming sugar plantations dito. Nasanay din silang kumuha diyan. No? So, and most of our politicians here is kowtowing with them. That is why kahit na papaano takot yung mga tao dito. But really, no, we really have to address this. Kaya nadidissipate din, no, yung aming mga puwersa kung minsan, especially our armed forces and our police. But we're trying to address this, no. In fact, we are now using our peace and order funds to really strengthen and capacitate the law enforcement and of course the policing and of course the armed forces of the Philippines. No? Yun lang, no? Wala pa namang encounter, but of course, palagi kaming nakagwardya din. Baka sasampo lang kami dito. No? So all of these things is complicating our fight sa COVID. But that's why it is so important, para sa akin, it's so important that people should know why they are part of solving the problem and the roles that they will have to play. That is why I am into radio every day, no? Nagagalit, lalo sa amin, siyam sa 29 towns namin, 29 town mayors namin, mga baguhan. So kailangan turuan mo rin sila how to go about all of these things. Yung mga barangay captains natin dito, ganun din, no? And kahit yung pera na binababa, pinaglalawayan yan ng mga politiko eh. Kaya
Okay.
kailangan talaga, you should be transparent about all of these things. So I came up with my own amelioration. I am giving 100,000 per barangay, 820 barangays. We came up with our own EOs, no? The EO that kailangan palabas natin yung pangalan ng mga naman kasi ang mga nag-positive dito, mga OFWs yung iba. So, I took it upon myself to come up with an EO na sabihin yung mga pangalan para ma-forward, especially in Tuguegarao City, no? Very heterogeneous na rin yung tao dyan. That is why we have to have the names para alam ng co-workers nila, alam ng... So I took that upon myself, no? Ganon din yung liquor ban, ganon din yung curfew, all of these things, no? And kahit na pinapagalitan mo yung mga kapitan, yung mga mayors, I felt that I should play the father of the province. Awa ng Diyos, it was a collaboration of everyone, no? Including our regional directors, no? I have there, kasi doon sa amelioration, ang daming gulo dyan. Buti na lang, meron kami i-text kay Gob. So I took the pain of really answering all, no? And giving the numbers of the national agencies. And I sought also the help of the national agencies na kailangan may sumasagot doon sa mga tanong ng mga tao sa kanila. So
Okay,
hopefully
how-
this will all work.
Yeah. How difficult was it for you to implement the social amelioration fund? Kasi in other provinces, other towns and cities, medyo nagkagulo. There was a double or triple the number of people in need against the allocation in those areas. Number two, yung listahan, etc. First of all, in Cagayan, do you have a lot of people who really need the amelioration? Kasi nakapunta na po ako sa probinsya nyo. And I found it, I was quite impressed. Hindi naman hikahos. Yes, you are farmers, but farmers are not necessarily living in poverty. They just live simply. Marami bang hirap sa Cagayan or manageable naman?
Manageable, no? But in the urban centers, may mga urban centers na din kami, katulad sa Tuguegarao, no? Na pag nawala talaga yung trabaho sa services sector, talagang magkakaproblema din sila. So these are the areas, no? So kahit pa paano, masasabi mo kung saan talaga, no? At sa amelioration ng national government kasi, I keep my hands off, no? Except that yung mga questions, talagang pinapasa ko sa mga regional directors. So napaka-importante kasi na alam ng tao kung bakit hindi sila makakatanggap at tatanggap yung iba. Yung amelioration na sinasabi ko is my own amelioration fund, maliit, pero pagtakip butas habang hindi nila nakukuha yung kanilang amelioration fund from the national government. No? And I think people understood this, no, in a way. Although ang dami pang tanong, no? At we just saw to it that we are over the air every now and then. We just saw to it that questions and queries are answered directly by the national agencies and hopefully ma-understandan ng tao. So far, it is working for us. Marami pa rin pasaway kahit papano, but I kept on telling people that especially elected officials like us, no, that the best in us should come out now in the worst situation. And I hope this will happen, no? Kasi this is what we need now. And katulad ngayon, I'm telling them, martial law is not far-fetched. If we fail, mga politikos katulad namin, the military, the police will take over. We have gone through it already. It will happen again.
Yeah.
And mind you, gusto-gusto ng tao. Kaya sinasabi ko sa mga politiko, it should be incumbent upon us to make this work, no? It is the time for us to show the world that we could be trusted also. As you see, no, kami yung last na binigyan ng pera. And that's understandable. Dahil, but the thing is, we should trust people along the way now and come up with check bulbs para ma-solve natin itong problema ito. That's how I look at this. It's a situation where we know more ourselves, we know more our mistakes. It is a situation which could bring us all together to fight this World War III na sinasabi mga sito.
Okay, thank you, Governor. Marami kaming natutunan sa inyo. I think one of the good news is that you are having a bumper crop harvest of rice. Number two, I think it's important for people to understand that after all of this, they cannot expect to just go in and out of the province of Cagayan because you have to protect your citizens, and the quarantine or the checkpoints will have to do the testing, rapid testing. Sana you have enough test kits. And of course, we are imploring the rebels in your area or up north, or wala nang up north sa inyo, sagad na yun, nasa dulo
Yeah,
na kayo.
right.
Around
Yeah,
uh,
right.
to please uh, just not get in the way of all of this. But anyway, thank you very much, Governor, and please stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy. God bless you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Thank you so much, Ito. And again, God bless to you.
Okay, and that is the mayor, the governor of Cagayan province, Governor Manuel Mamba. That's a bit of good news there that they have a bumper crop for rice, and they seem to be doing all right. But I think the crucial message of Governor Mamba is we need to make this work. And if local politicians are not so involved in it or not putting their hearts into this fight, the other alternative is martial law. And mind you, it's ironic, but as Governor Mamba put it, the people may not be against the idea if their lives uh, are at stake. In any case, let's hope that the president won't have to resort to that, and let's hope that we overcome this war, this World War III, as I call it, because it is war. It is war. It's a global war, and we are all in it. And I have a few words to say about that later in the show. In any case, at this point, I'd like to call in a friend. He is quite well known as a restaurateur. He is the founder and president of Poco Delicatessen, or Poco Deli. Everybody calls it Poco Deli. Prior to this, he spent 25 years with Procter and Gamble, even lived in Indonesia, and he's a very good friend, Sonny De Leon. Sonny, are you there already? Okay.
Greetings from Hi Zito, greetings from Coron, Palawan.
Okay. I am really glad that we are connected now. Why are you not with us here in Metro Manila celebrating the holy month of ECQ?
Well, we're neighbors in Capitolio, right? And
Yes.
but we opened a shop here in the island, and prior to the lockdown, we came to the island because it's peak season. Like Holy Week is the highest season for the island, tourists, etc. We were conducting a wine class, a wine tasting event, and then suddenly the lockdown came. Our two flights out were canceled, and so we've been here a total of 6 weeks.
Total of 6 weeks in the island of Coron, Palawan. Now, I can assure you there are many of us who wish we could trade places with you. How, but can you give us a picture of what the situation is in Coron? You get to go out, I think, on special runs. There is also, I think, an enhanced quarantine policy in Coron. Can you give us a insight what's going on there, or how are things in Coron?
Okay, Coron or Palawan in general used to be the number one island destination of the Philippines after it was rated top 10 in the world by Condé Nast of New York. So this place was really crawling with tourists from all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, when the lockdown came, zero, zero tourists. Everyone was sent home, especially the foreigners. So it's practically a ghost town. Now, when the lockdown was executed in Manila, our mayor was very proactive and he immediately did a lockdown. In fact, the lockdown is so effective. Every corner of the barangay where I'm staying, there's a checkpoint. So we can only go to the market at 6 a.m., but we need to be back by 10 at the latest. Otherwise, you can't go out anymore. So, in terms of, I just heard an interview from Governor of Cagayan.
Yeah,
It is
Governor
actually
Mamba.
feels like martial law, right? And I like it because there's control. So now, while we have run out of canned goods, sardines, etc., we have fish, right? But yes, we have fish, but I pity the fishermen because the fishermen are not able to sell their fish anymore. So there's a lot of fish in the market. No one's buying. The public market, 80% of the stalls are closed, etc. Because essentially we were serving the tourists, right? So
Yeah.
it's a ghost town.
Okay, and so what about businesses? Because I was talking to Governor Artiap of Bohol, and what they did was they actually allowed the economy to run. They simply did not allow, I think they allowed essential establishments to operate, food, banking, etc. And because they were an island, what is the situation there? Are the businesses all closed up, boarded up already?
So all businesses, bars, cafes, restaurants, all tourism-related businesses are closed, right?
Okay.
Except for the public market. Public market, there's like two or three drugstores, and then people like us. So Poco Deli is essentially like a delicatessen, which is like a fancy name for it's a European grocery store, right?
Yeah.
So we were closed for a month, but then we just reopened this week because there are people calling us for bread, for oil, for milk, of course bacon, etc. Especially there's a lot of foreign nationals who have married Filipinas and who are living here. So everything is closed. Only grocery, public market, and drugstores are open.
Well, you are very lucky individual because when I was building resorts in that part of the islands, there were no cell phones, amigo. We did everything on foot, and no orders. You had to send a letter 2 days ahead. So you're lucky. You're actually operating online or by mobile phone.
So what happened was the physical stores are closed. So my dining area for Poco Deli and for Epic Cafe are closed. But then people can call or message us online, etc. So we had to reopen our little. I'm actually right behind our counter. We have a, like open a small like grocery area, right? So people can just pick up their stuff or we can deliver to them because these are essentials like food.
Yeah. Okay, we have a slight delay. Okay, now, Sonny, here's the thing. I've been talking to some of the officials, experts, and the forecast is we can just kiss our favorite restaurants goodbye at least for the next 3 to 6 months because social distancing will still be strictly enforced all over the world. And yes, there are countries that tried to keep the restaurants and public places open, and now they're paying the price in terms of casualty. What about on your side? Because how how do you see you've been in business, you've been in the corporate life before as an executive. What's your analysis as far as the future of restaurants go?
Okay, so first, I agree with the global assessment that the restaurant, travel, airline, etc., we're really the first casualty. right? So we've accepted that. But the fact of the matter is, we're technically food, right? So it's
Yeah.
something that people need to survive. So what we have done, and we're not the expert, we're still navigating our way through all the darkness. We're trying to serve people by delivery, right?
Okay.
So essentially, it's a new platform. People are now ordering via Messenger, Facebook, email, calls, Viber, WhatsApp, whatever communication lines. We never did that. Capitoli, right? You walk in, we have coffee or a glass of wine. But now we've had to, all possible communication lines are open. That's the first one. Second is the menu. So yes, we eat canned sardines, dried fish, etc. But once a week, we'd like to taste bacon, right? So we still serve bacon. Sometimes, once a month, a bottle of wine, right? Third is in terms of the delivery mechanism. So the usual Grab, Lala Move, etc. But they're fully loaded. So we've had to mobilize our own people, whether they're walking, biking, etc., to deliver, right? And then the last one is in terms of the payment systems. Again, before it just used to be credit card or cash.
Yeah.
Now bank transfer, etc. So I think in this madness, we still need to find a way, right, to be able to serve people.
I'm curious, Sunny, and you can answer or you can choose not to answer this, but in percentage comparison, I mean, everyone assumes, you have a restaurant or you have a deli, okay, it's zero. You must be down, but okay, now you've discovered online deliveries, etc. How is it in terms of profitability or just keeping the business alive? Because I remember I've been where you are. I remember when we were running a bed and breakfast and building resorts down there. I remember when there were kidnapping stories, etc. And the tourists all disappeared, and the mode was survival. It was no longer about
Yeah.
making a profit, turning a profit, but surviving and being able to keep the business. How is this shift from physical restaurants to online delivery, online order taking, and delivery for you?
So to be honest with you, we're still struggling. Uh, Based on what I saw, we're still bleeding financially. But the important thing is cash flow, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to be able to convert my stocks, my inventory to cash, because that is the cash by which I can pay my employees. So right now I'm zero profitability, in fact negative, but I just need cash flow to be able to pay my employees and buy
Okay.
rice.
Yeah, okay, but I've seen all of your posts on how to prepare gourmet sardines from a
Yes.
can, and all this stuff. You're in Coron and you're by the seaside, and you also have the mountains back there. Is this area going to be the next source of materials? Because I'm sure you can't get anything out of Manila right now, or can you?
So the profile of the geography of Coron is it's heavily mineralized, meaning to say high manganese content. So from an agriculture side, I don't think there's really a lot to be grown here because what's this? The soil is not healthy, right? I mean, right for agriculture. But fishing is. There's a lot of islands and a lot of fishermen here, and these are all hardworking folks, right? This fishermen, and the issue now actually is logistics. how do we help the fishermen be able to bring their produce or their catch to the market, to Manila. And so you were asking about the logistics of, the mechanics of the lockdown.
Yeah.
I think we still need to ensure that the food supply, the supply chain is active. Because just the other day when I was in the market, I mean, Lapu-Lapu was selling for 150 pesos, whereas in Manila it's like 1,000 pesos because no one's buying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's in Coron. So it's mostly fish, not a lot of vegetables. And apparently, you're going to have to take lessons from me regarding how to set up a vegetable garden out there because I've been there. I know how to do it. But in any case, okay. So what about your Manila operations? You have a Makati outlet. You have one here in Barrio Capitolio that we patronize. Uh, how will that all of that change? You know, when I knew when I heard that you're going to be one of our guests, my first question is, given that there will no longer be a need for physical restaurants, at least, or possibly for the next 3 months, do you guys all just give up the place, the outlet, and go on strictly online? How do you see the shift? Because in the past we've seen restaurants close because of competition. Now this is a different situation. Do you see this restaurants physically closing and opening online?
Okay, so we're blessed. We have 3 locations in Manila. So we have 2 in Capitolio and 1 in BGC. But of which, out of the 3, we open only 1, right?
Yeah.
So I think the Capitolio store will continue to open because of 3 reasons. Number 1, in terms of logistics, it's actually a delivery and pickup point. That's 1. Second, in terms of storage and display, people still want to see, right, what they're buying. And then third is, I think, as an encouragement to other restaurants and small business owners, you don't have to shut down everything because your physical store can be like your showroom. Like it's a place where you can showcase your stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a lot more trust if a customer sees a physical store versus just a purely online.
Mhm.
Because the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of online stores, but the quality sometimes would be questionable, right? And
Okay.
such is the nature of online.
Okay. But what about mobile stores? So you see, listening to you, I figure out that from the physical restaurant, you have relied mostly on online orders, and if you try to go back to the new norm, you still need a main outlet for display and actual, interaction with your customers. But I figure we will go the style of New York, which would all be mobile restaurants, or style in LA or parts of Europe, even in the Netherlands. There are a lot of these mobile restaurants where you only pay rent to the city. You don't pay rent for a actual outlet.
So there depending on the food item you're selling, I guess if you're just selling like hot dogs or maybe 5 kinds of sandwiches or just pizza, I think that system works because you don't need a big kitchen, cold storage, sanitation, disposal, etc. But like us, we have around 400 items on the menu, and we need cold storage, freezers, chillers. As you know, my wife Joy is very particular about the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So she'll go ballistic if she sees like an insect or anything. So in terms of sanitation, I think we still need to preserve sanitation. That's why a physical store with a good kitchen is still very important.
Okay. And okay, what about scaling down in your, because you said you have 400, you have a 400 selection
Yes.
of food stuff or products. Uh, will ECQ dictate that you scale down on what you sell? Because I think the attraction for Poco Deli has been choice and variety, but will choice or variety still be a crucial part?
So what we have done initially is we launched only 5 items during our week one of our takeout.
Okay.
But obviously the customers wanted more. So right now we're just focusing on 5 items. Number one, bacon. Number two, sausages. Number three, bread. Number four, pasta. And number five would be like cheeses. That's it.
What's
Everything
number
else,
five?
cheese,
Cheese.
queso.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sonny.
So because what happens, Tito, is I'm the master butcher. I make the sausages and the bacon, right? But
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, I'm running out of supply of meat. So I used to import meat from Spain and Italy, right?
Yeah.
So and our spices, we only use German spices and German casings. But I'm running out of supply, so I've had to limit the from 10 sausages. I only now make 5. From 5 kinds of bacon, I only make the bacon slab and a beef bacon. So definitely, my raw materials have diminished, and so I've had to focus on items which will satisfy the customer's needs.
Okay, but now people are now talking about self reliance, about the Secretary William Dar of the Department of Agriculture is currently heavily promoting urban gardening, etc. Now, you mentioned that you've generally relied on supplies from Europe. What about now? I suppose the situation is going to force you to shift the local supplies or produce your own material.
Yes. So again, serendipitously, as I went to the palenque, I discovered that the butcher, right, in the palenque used to sell 10 heads of pigs or pork, right? But right now, he's only able to sell 2. So it's an 80% decline, right?
Okay.
And so I discovered upon talking to him a bit more, there's a lot of pigs on the island pigs, right,
Yeah.
who have lived a full life. So now my plan is, instead of importing from Italy or Spain, I'm going to just sell the island pigs. Anyway, if they've lived a good life, they deserve to be bacon for Capitolio. I'll
Yeah.
send you some.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think our viewers have learned enough, and my wild pigs, my baboy damos, are happy that you are in Coron, Palawan, because they are assured of a longer life. Kumbaga, nabigyan sila ng pardon. Okay, thank you very thank you very much, Sunny. We learned a lot, and I hope our viewers are also picked up a few ideas from you. We know you'll be back on your feet again because you are more than a survivor. You thrive on challenges, and you're doing a great job. We hope you stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy. God bless you, bro.
Okay. Thank you, Sito. Stay home and pray. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's go over, because of all of the snags we've had this morning, it's timely for us to talk to our friend from Smart PLDT, Mr. Mon Isberto. Uh,
Mhm.
Mon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sito. It's so nice to see you.
No, you really have to go send out vans and put banners there and say panahon na para lumipat sa PLDT fiber. I'm doing this every day. I am telling people that the new normal demands that you upgrade your internet connectivity, go on fiber optic, which Marco Borlongan and Malu Albendia helped us connect. And what is the situation? Because I'm imagining a surge for demand for upgrades from Smart and PLDT. What is the telco situation? Can we meet the demand?
Well, that's true, Sito, no? Tumaas yung level of demand, no? For the simple reasons that you just mentioned, no? People are really shifting to a more digital lifestyle. At marami dun sa mga uses, no, applications are really heavy data usage, no? But medyo silwerte kami, no? You might call it providential, but over the past several years, we've been investing heavily in our network, so we have sufficient capacity, and we are adding to that capacity even as we speak, no? But so far on a overall network basis, we're okay. But we're not taking anything for granted, no? Kasi yung patuloy pa rin yung paggamit ng mga tao because they're working from home. So we are seeing everything from classrooms at home, no? Online classrooms, meetings, of course, meetings galore, e-masses. Meron na rin e-dalaw para sa mga prisoners who, their families cannot visit them anymore, so they do it through video calls. So this is really the new normal na talaga.
Okay, now the question is, during lockdown, can you and your associates deliver or act on requests? Kasi like in my case, I know my request was an emergency request, and as people pointed out, ang swerte mo kasi sister company niyo yung PLDT. But I want to know if an ordinary person called up PLDT or Smart, can they actually get an upgrade just by doing it on the phone or computer?
Okay. Our first, as you know, all businesses, no, operationally we are challenged, no, because of the quarantine restrictions. No, kahit pa paano, meron talagang restrictions sa movement ng mga tao.
Aren't you exempted as telco?
That's true, and we are very grateful for that. Thankful to the government for giving us that exemption. Pero even with that, for example, I was just talking with our network people the other day, and one of our senior officers were telling us that in different parts of Luzon, there's something like 1,000, 1,500 communities. I'm talking siguro of neighborhoods, villages, etc., not have restrictions that don't allow us to go in. So it's an uneven situation that we have to navigate our way through. No, so
I was actually surprised when your team came here, and the first thing they asked me is, "Did you get a clearance from the barangay?" And I said, "What? Never in all 64 years of my life did I ever have to go to the barangay for PLDT to install a phone line into the house." So apparently you're correct. There are so many communities, barangays that are stringent. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we have to navigate. No, but given that situation, Sito, our first priority namin is to keep our existing customers connected. No, kasi siyempre yun ang starting base mo, no. And after that, we work on new connections and upgrades. No, I think that's the only logical way to approach this kind of situation. No? Because on our side, we have also to carefully control the physical deployment, the deployment of our field personnel. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta lang namin pinapalabas sila. Kasi we have instituted certain procedures to check and double-check before we dispatch our team to that area, just to be sure na hindi namin sila sinusuot sa alanganin. So that's the kind of constraints that we have to navigate at this point in time. But so far, knock on wood. So far, I mean, it's been hard. I mean, we have to ask the indulgence, no, ng aming mga customers. No, we have not been able to respond as quickly as we would like to, but we are trying our very best under these circumstances to keep on providing service and repair and maintenance. No, kasi halimbawa, it's I mean, we have had so many instances, Sito, na nagdi-dispatch kami ng tao, hindi kami makapasok. So
because I understand. Not only is there a pre-existing policy that you have to get the clearance, like here in Barrio Capitolio, they've closed all gates except one, and because it's also ECQ, it's also the quarantine.
Some communities are very strict, Sito, no? So I mean, that's the reality of it. We understand. Hindi naman namin, I mean, we understand what is behind those kinds of practices, no? So, but still, we have to find a way to navigate the situation and get to the customer and provide service to him or her.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for the time being, Mon, and perhaps in the coming weeks we'll come back to you, and we would like to find out if you guys are setting up a war room and a war strategy, so that whether or not the COVID-19 ECQ is lifted, whether PLDT and Smart will have a campaign strategy for all the people who want to use PLDT fiber optics or maximize their packages. If you guys have a plan, and maybe you can share that with us in the coming weeks.
Well, let me just end on that point, Sito. I mean, we have learned so much. Ang dami po naming natutunan over the past couple of weeks, no, how life can change and is changing because of these circumstances. Pero I think after this situation, Sito, I mean, magkakaroon ng change in behavior. More and more people will be able to use these tools, the ones that we're using right now, to do their daily life. And so we need to be prepared for that. And we need to be able to step up and provide the services that people are going to be looking for. And thank you again, Sito.
Thank you very much, Mon Isberto. And please stay
salamat.
safe, stay strong, stay healthy. And God bless you. Okay, that was Mon Isberto of Smart and PLDT Group. And we have to close the program now because we've overextended our program. And all I have left to say is I'm imploring, I'm asking, I'm inviting everyone out there, please pray. Please keep on praying for COVID-19 to be removed from the face of the earth, for God Almighty to protect every Filipino, heal those who are infected. And I wish all of you a great weekend. And you can choose to go to Palawan, you can go to Cagayan. All you have to do is put plate cards, name cards on the doors, and name those rooms Palawan, Cagayan, like many creative Filipinos are doing. Have a happy weekend and stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy. God bless you, and we love you.